Obviously unique coming off of the second bye week. I think this is the first time right now that college football is kind of having the two bye weeks. I think it's a way of not adding another game for the student athletes, but also extending the season another week, which is uniquely beneficial to a lot of us in college football in general. But bye weeks are always kind of, it can be a catch-22. Some people tell, man, it's a great bye week. You have an opportunity to get healthy. Well, during a year, it's really difficult to get healthy. Yes, there's some time in having a week off of a game. You don't have a week off of practice, but also you kind of lose a little bit of that energy and momentum that you've created throughout the entire season. So it's a balance. It's kind of a catch-22. I do believe that we had a good off week. We had a few guys that were dinged up in the last game. Gave them an opportunity probably to not be rushed into getting back, not create some bad habits that happen sometimes when you rush a guy back to practice on a Tuesday and a Wednesday to get him prepared for a Saturday, but gave them an opportunity to maybe not have to do as much work as they get a little bit more healthy. So I feel like we did a good balance in the off week. We worked with a purpose to do some things, but we also relaxed a little bit and had some fun too. So I think there was a unique balance there. Just like as you start to prepare for the next week, how much do you do? If you take 2 weeks to prepare for a team, sometimes by the end of this week, guys are bored of what they're doing. So you gotta same thing. You kind of work on that week off for us on things we need to do to move forward as an offense, defense, and special teams, but also trying to get a little bit ahead, preparing for the week to come. So we'll get back at it today, trying to get into a routine of a normal Tuesday. I think that's the thing I stressed to the guys yesterday is we came in this morning like we do on a Tuesday and say let's get back in the swing of things as a normal week goes for us as we make a run here at the end of the season.
Do you maybe treat it like early bowl practices where a lot of focus on young guys and getting them some run?
I think you got to be careful. There is some focus on young guys. I think on a Thursday we had a little scrimmage with the guys, had some fun with it, but you're still in a little bit of a balance there. Some of those young guys are a big part of what we're doing. And I don't just mean that on special teams. I mean that as guys that are rolling in there and have a role and play. We got 2 young guys who are returners. So you go out there and you say, okay, we're going to get these guys some work in the off week, and all of a sudden, somebody twists an ankle or something. So they're a big part of what we're doing. I think that's like I said, there's a little bit of a balance. On Thursday we had a little bit of a scrimmage, but it was probably 95% of guys that either redshirted or have not played as of yet.
You talked about kind of setting out a plan in preseason for the whole season in terms of mapping things out. What did that look like before the season for this past bye weekend? Did it end up matching up once you got there?
Well, it did. I mean, you kind of set a schedule. Now, what you're going to do inside that schedule, you could change it based on how your season's going and what's going on. But you try to set it so that okay, we're going to give the guys off basically a Sunday and a Monday. You're going to give them off a Friday, a Saturday, and most of the day on Sunday, just to make sure the structure of what you're doing. Now, what you're going to do on those practice days of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, probably determine a lot more of where we are and what was going on with our season, health-wise and some things like that. So that's why I feel like as we come out of it, you never really know. I'll tell you on Saturday about 7:45 how we kind of handled the bye week and we continue to keep the momentum, the energy that we've had. But I feel like after the week that we worked to the purpose. We got the things done we need to get done, as well as relaxing a little bit and having a good time along the way.
Not trying to look too far ahead, but these next 4 weeks, with all the games being on Saturdays, does that allow you to get into like your normal game routine?
It'll be the longest stretch of somewhat of a routine that we've had, with the Thursday games, with the Friday games, with bye weeks. So I think that's one of those big things as we get back into today being a real Tuesday, is how do we get back into the swing of what it is that we do on a consistent basis. So that's where we got to make a push for. That's what I think the whole idea of this next 5 weeks are going to be about. And now can we enhance the routines that we've done.
Looking at ECU, they started off pretty strong. They've struggled a little bit of late, but obviously you have to assume you're going to get their best shot, ranked team coming in for a night game.
I think that's the unique thing that we got to make sure we understand. It doesn't matter who we're facing right now. We put ourselves in a position to get a lot of people's best shots. last year, even the season we had, I think even going into the end of the season, I'm not sure, going into play an opponent that they, really believe, hey, this team's ranked, this team's as good as they are. So I don't think that was something that was circled on the schedule. We know this for a fact that, what happened and how we finished last year, especially against ECU, that I'm sure this was one that was circled for them. It was probably the end of their season, obviously a coaching change and some things like that. The way we went there 2 years ago, I think is a big deal to us. Not that it has a bearing on this game, but just making sure you understand how people play at home, especially how people play when you're coming in ranked.
You guys experienced it last year. This year, Memphis and SMU did College Game Day. How big is it for the conference to continue to get that type of exposure?
Well, all I'm going to say it's great for the conference. It is, and I think it's great for college football. Last week they were in South Dakota or something. I think the ability for people to realize and continue to realize what kind of football, what kind of fan base, and what kind of excitement is out there as opposed to just the top 5% of programs. And I think that's what is unique about college football. I'm excited to say, hey, this is, what ESPN is doing a great job of moving this thing around so that, the rest of the country can see the excitement, not just on, the Alabamas of the world, the LSUs of the world, but whether it's North Dakota State, South Dakota State, or down in Memphis, whether it's our conference or it's not. I think it just shows you college football in general is coming a lot closer. I think coaches are doing a great job of balance. It's still, I still say there's a 90% rule. 90% of college football is in this realm. There's a 5%, there's a 5%, but the rest of everybody is in that 90%. And how you handle it, how you deal with it, how you get your team to progress, I think is the difference.
What's the key to keeping these guys focused and motivated when you are 20-point favorites playing a team that only has,
Not talking about it. I don't know that I would not have known that had you not said that. But again, it's kind of the way it's not. Just talking about it's not some storyline. We've asked about that earlier in the season. Hey, what's going to be the storyline to get these guys going? I don't think it's. We've never talked about a storyline, no matter what the game was last year, whether it was UCF and it was game day. The idea right now for us to continue to focus on ourselves, to see that, hey, when we went to camp, we had, one objective or one goal. We don't want to talk about it, and then we say the thing that we want to be able to do as a program is play our best ball at the end of the year. And how do you do that? You have consistency, whether it's game by game. You don't overlook things. You have objectives that you can measure each and every week, so that you can kind of keep yourself honed in, keep yourself focused on the task at hand. I know that they see a lot more than what I do. There's no doubt. I talk to the coaches about it. They come in here on a Thursday and they're waiting for the guys to come in for our last meeting, and they're all on their phones checking out Twitter. I'm like, what are you guys looking for? If there's going to be some news, don't worry, my wife will call and tell us if something happened. I try to stay locked in. I know our kids aren't the same way. They know what's going on, but in the same idea, I think that our ability to get into that routine, that it doesn't really matter. You don't have as much time to have the outside interactions, the outside distractions that are out there. I think it's never easy, but I think that hopefully we're built for that in the way that we kind of addressed and started the season, as opposed to having this big end-all goal that we always talk about, and now you keep reminding them that they're on track to make their goal. That's not what we've said from the get-go. I hope that's what helps us stay locked in and focused week by week.
Do you do that at all? Even during the bye week, do you talk about what's in front of them big picture-wise?
No, we don't. Like I said, I know they do, so I don't want to be the elephant in the room that we don't address. We at least talked about, hey, you guys deserve where you are right now, obviously being ranked and things like that, but just know what that carries along with it. The message has got to stay very similar to when we started camp. What are the objectives? How do we attack this thing? If we're going to be really a great team, we got to play our best ball at the end of the year. And how do we do that? And you try to stay into that mold. Obviously, you change, especially off a bye week. There's some things you say, okay, hey, what do we need to do? What do we need to enhance as we move this thing in the next 5 weeks of the season? But it's more so about us as opposed to, hey, in that bye week, what are we going to do against ECU? No, it's where do we need to get better as we take this last week.
Mike Warren has, I think, 40 fewer carries for 7 games this year compared to last year. I know the running back room has had some adversity, but does that maybe set Mike up for a big finish here?
That's what I would have liked to have said we would have had last year, had, had Jared not been hurt, had we, stayed a little bit healthier, had we done some different things. As you know, Mike probably missed a game and a half at the end of the season. I know he missed the whole ECU game, he missed half, or probably UCF game, but wasn't healthy because of the amount of carries he had. And going into the season, you're hoping that, he would be in this, personally in this. I know he probably wishes he had 45 more carries and 600 more yards or whatever, but the reality is, in that philosophy to play your best at the end, you got to have some balance, and the balance is in also who you're handing the football to. So I'm hoping that health down the stretch is going to be a big advantage to us, and especially for Mike, because he's, like I said, he's a catalyst. He's that energy guy that we need and call upon a lot on offense. And whether it wasn't him in the last game, it was Jared a little bit more. Mike is still the catalyst. He's still there on the sideline. Have we needed it?
Last time you went to ECU, you said after the game you had some soul searching to do on the ride home, and obviously since then you guys have had a lot of success. What did you find about yourselves after that?
That's a long time ago. I don't know. Did I say that? Go back and look that up. But I can assure you that there was a lot of soul searching, whether I said it or not after that game. It's one that I'll never forget. I think that anytime you're kind of down and trying to find a way back up, you're really looking not so much just at yourself, but in the grand scheme of things. Knowing that it was going to be a process, believing and hoping that the process was going to happen a lot faster. But I think when you look deep down inside, I think ultimately you say we got to have consistency.
Is there anything that they do differently this year with new head coach Mike Houston than last year?
Yeah, I think they are a bit different. I mean, defensively, obviously, you got a new offense coordinator, defense coordinator. There are some similarities. They're still going to be driven by the quarterback. I mean, he does a great job. He played against us last year. I'm not sure if how much he started last year, but I know he started the last half of the season. They're still going to run the football to create balance. I think maybe a little bit more of the RPO game now in what they're doing than they were a little bit more last year. But similar in a way, as you're seeing similar personnels, both offensively and defensively.
Did you maybe wonder if it was going to work on that plane ride home from Greenville last time?
There's always wondering, is it not if it's going to work, but how long it's going to take. I think that's the thing. I think deep down inside, you believe you have the right people around you, and I think that's, to me, if anything, after that entire season, it's as you look back at it, just trying to say, okay, do we have the right people around us? Because with the right people, things are going to work themselves out. If you don't have the right people and you're worried about that, then I think it's really hard to continue to, keep the message and be strong and be firm and, moving forward when you got people that might not be all in with you. So if anything, whether it's that ride home or that 2 months of sitting at home after, not having any bowl practice or anything like that, I would say the biggest thing that looking back at it is not players, because players are, you can get them to go a lot of different ways, 18 to 22 years old. And I think it's really when you look back at it and say, do we have the right people around us to get this thing where we want to go? And, too many people make a lot of decisions and probably too quick in some of those times. But we really, truly believed, I believe, that we had the right people around us.
And you still kept Kaz around.
And we still kept going.
You're still here.
You are good. We good?